It's wet here today and we're expecting those downpours to continue. This will make for a difficult sprint for all the teams. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Sainz, Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Norris, Perez, Hamilton, Magnussen, Albon, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Sargent, Gasly, Joe, Tsunoda, Button, and the owner-driver rounds off the grid. Ricciardo and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
Hello everybody, welcome back to this Equal Cars Championship, which makes up the last few races that I will be doing on F1 23. This is round 2 and the sprint race of round 2, the Austrian Grand Prix. We start even further back in this sprint than we did in Australia, but you know what, that's okay. The sprint is all about gaining positions for the race, where all the big points are given out. For now, smaller points are given out, but let's see if we can grab a couple of those too. Here we go then, on the grid. And we are away, and it's an okay-ish start for us. Jenson Button is moving across. He is not willing to let us go easy as we head into turn 1. Is there any commotion here? No, it looks like everyone's got through fine. And we've gone round the outside of Jenson Button and moved ourselves up into 19th place. So, gaining a place off the start there. Oh, it is wet as we head up to turn 3. And oh my god, I've braked super late here. I hope I don't hit anybody. At the moment, I haven't. And I've gone in super tight, and that could cost me. I've had a little bit of a tap with Ocon, but no major dramas there. And in fact, I think we've got past Pierre Gasly in the mayhem there. So now we've got Sargent and Tsunoda, who are alongside each other up ahead. In fact, Tsunoda has got in front of Logan Sargent. So we are up 2 places, and the sprint race longer in laps around Austria than it is in Australia. We had 19 laps in Australia. We've got 24 here to make a difference. But the one thing that we do also have here is rain. But it is looking like this track might dry up towards the middle of the sprint. So could get interesting as we move forwards. For now though, we have gained 2 positions. We're up into 18th, and I'm having a look at Logan Sargent, but I don't think we're going to get through here. I think the best shot is to have a look into 3, but that run into turn 1 really has not helped us at all because we missed the apex by a country mile. That is not what we want to do here. We want to try and have a look at Sargent. Oh, this is going to turn into an overtaking move because I braked late, and because I had to go in super tight. Sargent had the advantage there, so struggling to pass the Williams of Logan Sargent. I'm hoping strategy-wise we can gain a bit throughout this race. I'm just playing it super careful because the worst thing we can do at this stage of the race is lose part of the car and then we have to pit early for a new front wing. How is the circuit though? It's still wet, it's still raining, but I wonder how long this rain is going to last. Weather report. Or don't give me a weather report, that's cool, you know, just ignore me. Engineer. I think my engineer's going to find himself walking to job centre tomorrow. Right, here we go, and we've got to run on Sargent. He's going to go defensive to the inside. I'm going to stay down the left. And even though it's equal car performance, I've got the move done on the straight. Past Logan Sargent, up into 17th place, and now we can start focusing on the guys ahead. And it just, to me, looks slightly drier here, so I don't know, is it? Are we getting near the territory of slicks? Let's have a listen to the weather report.
dries or inters are faster, we're right on the crossover.
Right, so apparently we're on the crossover and the rain is about 5 minutes from ending, so I don't know, I feel like some parts of the track are a bit damper than others, and he says we're on the crossover, but I just feel like maybe we need another lap or two before making the decision.
Be careful you don't burn out your tyres.
Right, so I think I'm going to pit in at the end of next lap, just looking at how the circuit is drying, but there is still quite a bit of spray, which is what concerns me. But this is one of the circuits that dries quite quickly when it dries, and I can already see it just looks that bit drier, but when you're right behind another car and you're in the spray, it's harder to see. And Sargent is holding everybody back behind him. Logan Sargent keeping the gap back. Oh, we don't want to hit Tsunoda. I want to pass him, but I don't want to hit him. Is the overtake going to be on here? I think it is. If we use overtake all the way down the straight, Tsunoda covers the inside. I want to make sure I brake late, but not stupidly late like what we've done. And in fact, we've not been able to get the move done, but we're still going to go alongside Tsunoda. We're side by side heading into the left-hander. And I'm going to brake a bit later. Tsunoda trying to keep it round the outside. But we've been able to complete the move, and I'm still not sure yet if slicks are the way to go, thinking about it, because there is still that spray. So we're going to leave it another lap for now. In fact, the rain is still falling, so I'm not sure if slicks are ready just yet.
The rain's passing now, so expect it to ease up in the next few minutes. Be ready for the grip to come back, but don't overheat the
Right, we've got a
tyres.
yellow flag in front. We've got a yellow flag. Somebody is going very, very slowly. I think it might be an Aston Martin. It is an Aston Martin. It's Fernando Alonso. His season's getting more miserable, and Ocon got held up there, and that is going to enable me a chance to go around the outside, and Magnussen is looking at Zhou too, and we've gone round the outside of Ocon up into P14. Zhou Guan Yu is next for us then, but oh, rotten luck for Alonso. He's retired from 2 sprints in a row, and that means his feature race is going to be full of nothing but pain later on. So oh, you got to feel for him, really, haven't you? But Fernando Alonso.
Dry enough yet to start thinking about slicks. Let's hold on to the inters for a little while longer.
And the engineer says, let's hold on to the inters for a little while longer. I'm going to agree to that for now. I'm just having a look in and out the spray, but it just does not look ready yet. But the spray is going down slowly but surely. And I think next lap is the lap. And in fact, we've just had the notification to say that DRS is enabled, and there are cars in the pits. So some drivers already electing to make the choice for slicks. I feel like it might be a lap early, but we'll see. But it could be that we've called it wrong.
Okay, I've got a brand new race strategy on your MFD if you want to go and check it out. Got that confirmed.
What? No, I wouldn't go for mediums. I'm going softs. I'm going softs. So where's that? Let's go softs, I think. When we pit in, let's take on a brand new set of softs to go to the end. Right. I'm still right behind Zhou Guan Yu, and I've really not made any inroads on him at all. They're saying this is the lap, but there's still just a little bit of spray. But I'm going to trust this. I'm going to trust in the strategy, trust in the plan, or L plan, whatever you want to call it. We are into the pits, so getting off these tyres and getting onto a brand new set. There are some drivers that are being held back in the pits here, as everybody has made a beeline for it. Get off these inters, on some softs.
Okay, mate, that's it.
Let's go.
That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
Right, so where have we emerged out? We're pretty much where we were, and in fact Gasly was one of the early stoppers. he's actually gained a place out of that. So Gasly, it's really worked out for. But a lot of these drivers are on medium tyres, with us being on the softs. These are going to warm up so much quicker. So we should, for the first few laps at least, be able to make up some quite easy positions. First up though is Kevin Magnussen in the Haas. And this ain't going to be easy. Oh, problem is now though we are away from the main overtaking spaces. And realistically, the places to do it are the 3 big braking zones on the circuit. This is not really a place you overtake, but look how close we're getting to Magnussen here. I think we are going to have a little look up the inside. Is this going to happen for us? Yes, it does, but I've gone deep. Still managing to maintain the circuit. I'm going to have to give Magnussen some space because he was having a look, but it all amounts to nothing. Hulkenberg has the fastest lap of the race. No, he doesn't. That's now gone to Pierre Gasly, and we're going to see some craziness for the fastest lap of the race for a while. Meanwhile, we've now got Zhou ahead of us in P12 as we're on lap 8 of this sprint race. We're not even half distance yet, and the weather has played havoc. So, Zhou just ahead as we are targeting getting up into P12, using the DRS to get close, but I don't think we're going to be close enough to make the move. Actually, I think we are, so let's have a little look up the inside. And Zhou just gets straight out of the way. Saw me coming there. That's a good pass. Up into 12th place. Bit of a dive bomb, but now we can set our sights on Alex Albon up ahead as we set a second purple sector. This is it now. Going all out to the end of the race. Verstappen sets the fastest lap with a 1:10. I think someone's going to beat that. Verstappen at the moment dominating proceedings here. It's a completely different show to what we had in Australia, but I've just gone a second quicker than Verstappen, so I think Max has got something to worry about here. Problem is though, he's halfway, he's got enough of a gap to us that winning the sprint race is going to be out of the question, but I think we can get some points here as we have another yellow flag. So somebody is slowing down, and I think that is going to be Logan Sargent if I recognise the dot correctly. So I think Logan Sargent's time in this race is up as we now start chasing down Alexander Albon in P11. And yes, I was correct, it is Logan Sargent that is out of the race as we chase this Williams down. My first sector was not peachy, but the rest of the lap I like to think we've done alright. Verstappen does a 1:08.9, so Verstappen's still flying out there at the moment. What's our time going to be? A 1:08.5, so we're still a few tenths quicker than Max. But Max getting on with it that lap, it has to be said. And there's a bit of a train behind what I think is an Aston Martin. So I think that's going to be the Stroll train up ahead as we're now getting ready to have a look at Albon. I don't think doing it there is going to be the right idea. And we've got a yellow flag where Logan Sargent is parked up. So I think it's going to have to be into 3 that we try the overtake. Once we clear the yellow, which we have done, Albon's going to go defensive. I'm going to go to the outside and Albon trying to hold it. Albon really trying to hold it. Albon doing a good job there of trying to hold it. We're going to have the inside for the left-hander. And Albon holding it around the outside still. Side by side, wheel-to-wheel racing here. Albon is not letting this go. Incredible stuff from Albon. But eventually we get ahead and move into P11. Verstappen sets another fastest lap of the race just to depress everybody further. Verstappen is absolutely dominating. And I think nobody is going to slow Verstappen down. Meanwhile, Lando Norris is improving his position on Nico Hulkenberg, who was running pretty high. No, he's not, because Norris has just been boffed by Hulkenberg, which means we've now got a chance on Lando going up into turn 3. And I think we're not going to quite get it there. But he's gone into Hulkenberg and he's forced me off the track. Cheers, Lando. We're now alongside him, despite him forcing me off the track. And Lando just braking a bit later as we go around the outside. And Alex Albon looking for an opportunity there. But it just didn't transpire. And Norris, I want to know, did he take damage from his collision with Hulkenberg? Because there was a little bit of a nudge. We're not even half distance in this sprint yet. We're still only on lap 11. Long way to go yet. Any number of things can happen. And we're now back on Norris again. He's got no DRS, neither have I. But I'm going around the outside of turn 1. And I actually did have the DRS then. I just wasn't paying attention. But we've got the move on Lando Norris done. Now we're closing in on Hulkenberg and the massive battle that is going on there.
0.7 seconds.
I think it's Stroll, like I said, Stroll leading a train, but Stroll's just been passed by what I assume is Carlos Sainz, unless Leclerc's lost a load of places again. But I think that's Leclerc in second behind Verstappen. Verstappen he's absolutely cleared off here. So I think we're going to see a Verstappen win in this sprint. But we're going to see, so far, me in the top 10, which is good. But we need to keep moving forward. And the first thing to do to move forward is to attack Hulkenberg. Verstappen just sets another fastest lap of the race. We get it, Max. You're fast. My best lap is a 1:08.3. That's depressing. And we've just gone quicker than Max. So we've just gone quicker than the race leader. And actually, it looks like it's more Sainz that's holding up this train rather than Stroll. I don't know if Stroll's just been staying close because of DRS. But whatever, we've got a bit of a train going on here. And we need to start getting clear. And first off, we're getting clear of Hulkenberg, who didn't really get a good exit out of the corner there. And we're now lining him up to have a go down the inside. I want to do this without hitting Hamilton. Hulkenberg round the outside, holding it off. And so Stroll and Sainz are now side by side. Hulkenberg's alongside, down the left-hander. This is not normally a place you see wheel-to-wheel racing round here, but we're going round the outside. We've gone round the outside of Hulkenberg, danced our way into P9, and next up we've got Lewis Hamilton. And Carlos Sainz and Stroll are still having their little battle here for P5, for P6 even. Hamilton's been compromised on the exit, as has Sainz. There might be a way through the middle here. Oh, I've been hit by Sainz. Sainz has lost his front wing and we've got a safety car. We have a safety car and Hamilton passing me under the safety car. I thought there was a way through the middle there. And we got hit by Sainz, and that brings out the safety car. Wow, that was... I mean, it was brave to try it. Ultimately, we had to turn in, and on the exit, we got hit by Carlos Sainz. And Hamilton was coming across as well. A lot of things happened there. We will unpack that when the race is finished. But big drama here. How's my car? Hopefully there's not too much damage. And Carlos Sainz, who was on the podium, if you remember back in Australia, he is now going to have to pit in. Hamilton also having to pit in. So two cars pitting in there. And, well, there's a lot to unpack from that. We will have to have a secondary look. But the safety car is out. And it just gives me time to take stock, but it also gives me a chance to move furtherly forwards because it brings everybody closer. And Verstappen, who's built up all that lead, suddenly will have it reduced to nothing here. Hulkenberg is still in the points here, so Hulkenberg could still grab a point for Haas in this sprint race. He's had a marvellous time of things with the change of weather. Okay, so it's time to take stock. We are in P7, started P20. We had a collision with Sainz and he hit, Lewis Hamilton also hit somebody. I don't know who else he hit, but we'll have to have a look at that after the race and unpack that incident, because I want to know what happened there. So we're under safety car conditions, which I think we will be for one more lap. And then at the end of lap 16, it's an 8-lap sprint finish to this sprint race that has brought us a change of weather, plenty of wheel-to-wheel action, and a little bit of drama here with the Hamilton Sainz damage. Again, we will unpack that after the race and just have a secondary look at that lap 14 incident, or lap 15 incident, should I say. Wait, no, it would be lap 14. So there'll be 8 laps to the finish once this safety car comes in, and these tyres are good to go to the end. And I feel like we'll have tyres that'll warm up quicker than the likes of everyone around us, so this might help us move up a few positions. Here we go then. The safety car is going to be in at the end of this lap, and the first thing we're going to do is attack Lance Stroll, who is up in P6. And at the moment, you've got to say, carrying the Aston Martin team. He's the only driver so far in this championship that has points for Aston Martin. The sun is now shining and beating down on this Red Bull Ring circuit. Right then, here we go. 8 laps of out and out racing begin now. It's all out for the next 8 laps. As first things first, let's attack Lance Stroll. He goes defensive. We're going to go to the outside. I'm going to try not to hit Oscar Piastri. We're going to go around the outside of Stroll. And that is the move done. Up into P7, P6. As we now set our sights on Oscar Piastri. Max Verstappen has well and truly cleared off out front. And everyone's backing up into 3. I'm nearly losing it at the exit as I'm trying not to hit Piastri. We've gone round the outside, moved up to P5. So we're getting these moves done here. And Leclerc is struggling. Leclerc really struggling, while Verstappen is just disappearing off into the distance. What can we grab from this sprint race then? Leclerc seeming to have some kind of issue because he's backing up Russell and Perez, and Russell's going to have a look down the inside. Has Russell got it done? I think he has. Yes, he has. Russell up to second, and look, they're all compromised out the corner, and here we go again. Perez to the outside. I'm not going to try and get these two and try that again. Rather, I'm just going to try Perez. Perez has backed up, and we've gone round the outside of the Red Bull, and we move up into P4. P2 is very much up for grabs here as we get ready to take a look at Charles Leclerc, who for whatever reason is limping in the Ferrari. It's been such a miserable turn of affairs for him, and look at that, we're past him before we even get to the corner. That to me suggests there is something not quite right with that Ferrari. So up into P3, and next up we have Russell, who we are trying to attack for second, going a bit wide there as we've gone very wide round there, trying to attack Russell. Leclerc's now going to come back at me after that slight mistake, but I don't think there's anything Leclerc can really do. I think he's got bigger problems with that car than what we're seeing. Verstappen, meanwhile, over 3.5 seconds down the road, so passing Verstappen not particularly likely here. But I tell you what, we could get George Russell and put ourselves on the front row, and for us, that's a recovery drive worth doing. Putting us on the front row. as we now head towards George Russell. The recovery is on here. Don't think we're quite close enough to try it there. So our best bet is now to try and wait it out a lap. But look at this, Leclerc's already 2.5 seconds back from this lot. So what has gone wrong with his car? That's what I want to know. And these tyres are clearly working better for me than the mediums on Russell. And Russell is dancing across. And Perez has got ahead of Leclerc. So Charles Leclerc again losing places as we get right personal now with George Russell. And I feel like this is going to be it here. But again, Russell's got a better exit. The torque on that Mercedes working a treat for him as Oscar Piastri gets past Charles Leclerc. And we're going to have a look at getting past George Russell. I dare to be later on the brakes round the outside there. And we've danced around the Mercedes up into P2. And now, can we get close to Max Verstappen? I'm not sure, but we're certainly going to push for it in the closing stages of this sprint race. We've had 20 laps of racing, and we've still got 5 laps to go, or should I say 4.5 laps to go. We haven't quite completed lap 20 yet. But Russell is now already a second behind us, so we've got clear of the DRS as we head towards the end of proceedings here. What a sprint race this has been. High drama all the way through. And now we're in the closing moments here. Can we catch up with Verstappen? The gap is very much of a muchness at this stage at 4.1 seconds, and I wonder, are the soft tyres now not doing quite as well as the mediums? The mediums were good to start with. So the softs were good to start with as they got up to temperature quicker, but have we now used that advantage from getting up to speed quicker? And now the mediums are just starting to come into their own. Well, George Russell we're still pulling away from, so there's no concern there, but we're matching Verstappen, so anything we do, Max can also do. So I think the top two, as long as we don't make a mistake or have any other drama, the top two for this race are very much locked in. Maybe even the top three, unless Piastri can hustle Russell. But right now, I'd say, as long as there's no mistakes or drama, the top 3 places are pretty much locked in. We got 3 laps to go here. And we saw Verstappen in Australia retire from the sprint on the last lap. So anything could still happen. We've still got 3 laps in which to settle this one. So if Verstappen does indeed have another last-minute drama like he did in Australia, well, that makes things good for us, doesn't it? And we get a front row start here in Austria as well. So we've got a front row start for the main event, which will help things massively moving forwards. And at the moment we do seem, in terms of this championship, a little bit hard to beat. But Verstappen now, he's getting into his stride. And he's probably gonna be our main contender for this title, is Max Verstappen. So he may start on the back foot, but today he's stamping his ground and showing that actually he is the one to beat and why he is the one to beat. 2 laps left here. Piastri and Perez are still battling over 4th, so I don't think P4 is quite decided yet. But I know that I'd like to say P1 and P2 are. Russell is still dropping back from us by a couple of tenths a lap, so I think he's locked into 3rd now, which is still a great result for Russell. Russell's having a pretty epic season so far. I mean, this is only the 2nd race and the 2nd sprint race. So technically it's the third race, but it's the second round. But Russell, he's been in the top 4 very consistently. 4th in the sprint in Australia, 4th in the race, now P3 in the sprint. Another driver that's seemingly doing well so far is Oscar Piastri. He's running in the top 4. He finished second in the main event last time out in Australia. So Piastri really putting himself in a good position here. But for now, it's the last lap of this sprint race. Verstappen has cleared off in front now. Russell's starting to catch, so I know that my tyres are starting to reach the end of their natural life. Verstappen has dominated this sprint race. It's just been all about him.
Right, we've got enough fuel for 3
But
more
we've
laps.
managed to come back from P20 to P2, which I think is very impressive. So I will happily take that all day long. I would have taken a P4 or P5 before the safety car, so the fact that we've got P2, that's incredible for us. And that puts us on the front row for the main event, which there'll be 71 laps of. But for now, Max Verstappen is your sprint race winner here. He crosses the line, no such dramas from what plagued him in Australia. He takes the sprint race, I take second, and George Russell catching up to me on the last lap, trying to get up to me, but no luck there for Russ. But it's a very solid P3 for him. And we grab 7 points for second. So there you go, that's the sprint result. Verstappen taking a dominant win in the sprint race. We managed to go from 20th to second. Russell gets third. Perez getting past Piastri on the last lap then, but still a top 5 for Oscar Piastri. Lance Stroll dragging that Aston Martin to 3 more points. And then you've got Lando Norris in 7th and Charles Leclerc, who was second at one stage in this, dropping all the way back to 8th. It's been a miserable start for him. And Gasly and Hulkenberg round out the top 10. Nico Hulkenberg doing a very solid job through that. What does it mean for the standings then? Well, Verstappen has moved up a few places. We're still in the lead. In fact, we've extended that lead to Oscar Piastri. George Russell, Mr. Consistency so far, third. Sainz holding on to 4th. Verstappen is now 5th with Norris, Perez, Hamilton, Stroll and Gasly rounding out the top 10. No new point scorers in the sprint, but we got 71 laps of a feature race ahead of us, so anything can happen in that. And the constructors' standings are pretty much of a muchness for now. Right. Let us have a look at that lap 14 incident then. The one that no doubt everybody will be talking about. Let's have a look then. So, it all really starts with Sainz and Stroll here going. I'm going to take the liberty of removing the position board out of the screen here and clear the screen so you can see that. This is when it all kind of started. So this is Carlos Sainz looking at his POV, and he's going to have a go at Lance Stroll. He's having a go down the inside there. Stroll's a bit deep, and Sainz seems to have the move done as he heads to the inside of the final corner. But Stroll sweeps across, and actually Sainz has to back out there. Now he's lost momentum, which means Hamilton also loses momentum. So now we're going to see me seeing these guys losing momentum. I'm now going down the inside of Hamilton. And now this is where Sainz is trying to go down the inside of Stroll, but he's left a gap in the middle. See this gap here? That's in the middle there. And I'm thinking, right, I'm going to take this gap in the middle because I think I can outbrake Stroll. And look how much closer we're getting on account of having the DRS. Sainz is on my right, Stroll is on my left, and then Hamilton has seemingly come out of nowhere. In fact, a good POV to see if this is from the Haas here. We're 3 wide, and I'm now going after Stroll. as we head into the braking spot. I'm down the inside of Stroll. Sainz is very tight in. He's got nowhere to go. I've turned the corner, which I have to do now at this point. Sainz is going to whack into me. And then at this point, he's going to go straight across into Hamilton. Those two having their own moment. Because Sainz hit me, the back end of my car steps out. And this Haas driver here doing very well to avoid the debris. I think it's Hulkenberg. But that's what happened there. Let's have another look at... Let's have another angle of it. Whose POV are we on? Okay, this is my POV. Down the inside then. 3 into 1 simply will not go. I'm having to turn in, but Sainz is there. There's Sainz. And he just clips the back of my car. It's the gentlest of gentle clips. But the clip is there. Sainz is going in. Look, Sainz has got nowhere to go really here. And I've gone into him, which means Sainz has then gone into Hamilton. I've nearly lost the car. And somehow managed to catch that. Let's ride on board with Sainz. Let's see how he saw it. Oh, so Sainz went in very hot to the corner while he was quite tight in, just listening to where he braked. He went in very hot. He went in very hot, but look at that. That's how it was heading into turn 1. That is how it was. And then if we get to Sainz... So he's literally gone in hot and bang. And Hulkenberg is just like, thank you very much for all the 2 positions there. Okay, well that was that incident. That's the sprint race. Thank you so much for watching. Join me when I live stream the feature race. I don't know when that'll be, but keep your eyes peeled for that. Until the next time, I've been Joe at TTFN. Ta-ta for now. Take care.